So each year I dedicate some time for decluttering different areas of my life. Sometimes it's my closet, last year was my emotional baggage, and this year it's time for my home office. I've been avoiding this for quite a while, but it's time to get rid of some stuff. If you have an OCD or if you're someone like my neighbor, imagine how the inside looks. I think it's best to click away now. Let's do this. Stuff is the unspecified amount of objects or thoughts that we're attached to but don't always need. We all have them and we love finding perfect explanations why we need them. But the truth is, most of the time we don't. Over the last years, learning to let go of stuff has been the main focus of my mindfulness practice. It's kinda hard to explain, but getting rid of physical objects has helped me gain more mental clarity. Of course, I don't usually declutter in search of mental clarity. Usually the reason is quite simple. For example, I've been working from home quite a lot lately and I've created a mess. But it doesn't matter what kind of space you want to declutter, there are usually 4 types of stuff that you need to take care of. Stuff you need to sell, stuff you need to throw away, stuff you have misplaced, and other random stuff that you have no idea what to do with. Let's start with the first one. When it comes to selling, I try to keep 2 very simple rules. If I'm upgrading something, the other thing has to go. So for example, this pair of headphones I need to sell. Also, I have 3 hard drives that I can combine into one. I haven't done it yet, but I can just buy one bigger one and sell these. And the second rule is that if I haven't used something in 6 to 12 months and it has some value, I need to sell it. We always find some kind of reason, which is usually sentimental, that we need to keep something and maybe sometime in the future we're gonna use it. And this is also especially true for gifts. But the reality is that we don't really use those things ever. However, there are some exceptions. Let me show you what I mean. I bought these watches a while back and I haven't really worn them for the past at least 6 months. But probably I will in the future. I'm not a huge watch guy, but I decided that I want to have a few watches. But you know, with the current situation, I don't really go out with people, I don't really meet with anyone, and that's why I'm not really wearing them. But probably in the near future, this will change when the things go back to normal, and maybe I will regret selling these things. So for now, they're staying. I'm also selling this custom-made LED sign. If you're interested, I'm gonna leave the link down in the description. Usually I don't have a lot of things to throw away, but now it's time to look around in my old documents and just get rid of all kinds of old paper that I don't really need. This includes contracts with, for example, mobile companies. I have a couple of vouchers that I already used and I just need to shred this. And also stuff that I brought from the outside and there was no trash bin around me, so that's why it's at home. Oh, and there's a few things that I've only used once for a video and probably never gonna use again, and I need to throw these away too. I constantly misplace all the things that I use for shooting video, and it's usually the perfect explanation why it's messy. For example, I use those 2 tripods all the time. This was the lens that I just shot with. This is my drone and I used it the other day, and all of this stuff should be right here where there's more stuff, but I just cannot help it. And even if I arrange it, it will probably take me like 5 minutes to just put it all over the place again. One of the main reasons for creating a lot of clutter is all the new things that we buy. As a general rule, if you want to have less clutter, just buy less stuff. And I try to follow this in my personal life. I avoid any kind of emotional purchases. And that's the main reason that for the longest time ever, I've been using the bags that I have for my gear, which are not the best, but you know, I didn't want to buy a new bag. But after a few months of researching and thinking about it, I decided that I want to buy this bag here, which is huge and generates a lot of new problems by itself. I couldn't find a place for it, so it's been laying around the room for, I don't know, a few months. So first of all, I need to find a new place. Second of all, I need to sell all the other bags. And third, I think it's a perfect moment to just kind of look around and think how I can optimize my space. And I found another thing that I can optimize, and I'm gonna show you now. I have a bunch of boxes from all the equipment that I have bought through the years, for example, like this GoPro, but I still need to keep them because at some point I'm going to sell this and upgrade for the newer product. And they've been lying all over the house, and I just got the idea that I can collect all of them in a bigger box and just put them down in the basement. No matter how good you are at decluttering, there's always stuff that you don't know what to do with and they don't fall under the other categories. Perfect example for this is this Oscar that I got for the performance in one of my last videos. I'm just kidding. It's an award I got from my company, and I cannot throw it away, and I'm not the guy that it's going to put it on my desk to collect dust. I don't know, so I'm just storing it somewhere in one of my drawers, and yeah, it's taking place, but it's not that big of a deal. For all other kind of smaller stuff, like for example my recipe for my glasses or my SIM card or whatever else you can imagine, I have a very simple system. I have a little box where I store all those things, and when I put it somewhere it looks nice and it doesn't look cluttered, and it's great. And sometimes I spend some time decluttering even this little box, which I should also do now because I have a lot of little papers that I don't really need. At first, it's counterintuitive to think that physical objects can affect your emotional well-being, but actually, the explanation is quite straightforward. Every time I see something that is misplaced or I don't really use, a series of thoughts pop up in my head. They are usually related to my emotional connection to the object and the action I need to take to get rid of it. Decluttering simply limits these kind of thoughts, and it truly helps me to be more present. Try it and you'll see it for yourself. This is the remaining stuff that I need to throw away. This is already up for sale, and here are all the things that need to go down in the basement, and I need a break. See you in the next one. Ciao.